Thank you for tuning in with Mr. His Glory is My Glory. Today, I'm telling y'all about how I finally got a job. So, after 7, I think 8 long months of searching for a job. All right, so mind you, doing this job search, I still was getting, close to Christ. I was still, figuring out myself. I was going through a lot. I was still on drugs, still trying to piece back together my family. Yeah, so during this time, I wanted to get a job, but I had it planned out. This time I knew what kind of job I wanted. I wanted to work from home. I wanted to do something to where it didn't involve me being in someone else's workspace to have to do it. So I say around October, I lost my car. So I lost my car, I lost my phone, car keys, house key. And this is just me being out there in the streets. God giving me opportunities and giving me ways out, and I decided to stay exactly where I was at, and that's how I end up losing everything. So fast forward to January 1st. January 1st of this year, I actually took the time to really plan my life and think about everything I wanted to do as far as with my life, because I had went a period without, I kept messing up when it came to the drugs. I kept messing up. I would go a little bit of period of time, and then I would mess up, and then I'd go another little period of time, and then I would mess up. But I realized every time I would mess up, I would get back to the same moments. Okay, so it was like I would replay the same moments, and it was at first it was weird to me, that the same situations kept happening, the same scenarios I kept being put in. But now I was realizing I had the opportunity to do something different. So usually we freestyle our lives. We at a young age, especially in your 20s, you really don't know what you want to do. But it's power in writing things down. So that's, my first piece of advice. Write some things down. The first piece of advice before you write something down, pray about it. Establish a relationship with God. That's what I did. And I can't tell you what to do, but I can let you know you can give it a try and see if it work out for you. Because if it worked out for somebody like me, I guarantee it could work out for you. So January 1st, I ended up doing the drug that I was just off of, but it was January 1st, New Year's. I wanted to, and everything just started to fall apart once again. And I remember being right here, in this little cubicle right here, and I made a decision that day. That day I made a decision, and since that day, I haven't stopped working towards the goals that I set out for myself. So one of the first things I set out for myself was to start a business. Back in November, October, I had the opportunity of painting the house, and before that, I had the opportunity to actually work on the house. And a little bit of background information about me. My father was he was a carpenter. He built a lot of houses through D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. Yeah, so while I was doing that, I ran into painting, and we had this big house to paint, so we were painting the house, and I'm painting, and I'm liking it. It's therapeutic to me. It's really quiet. We were out in the middle of the woods, no neighbors. I'm talking lot of land, water. It was a little lake, maybe less than what, 500 yards, and while I'm out there, I'm painting, and one of my good guys, he keeps kind of coming behind me to be like, "Hey B, you doing it wrong." I'm like, "What you mean I'm doing it wrong?" I'm like, "What am I doing wrong? I don't know what I'm doing wrong." So come around again, B, you doing it wrong. So now I'm upset. Okay, show me. So now every time he see me doing it wrong, he'll come and stop and show me. So I got tired of it, but I didn't stop working. It didn't make me be like, what, I quit, I'm done. Nah, I didn't stop working. I kept going at it. But in my head, I was doing it the right way. Okay? But then it got to a point to where I'm looking at, it was 4 of us, but I'm looking at somebody else while they're painting I'm like, he's doing a lot better job than me, and I feel like I'm hustling. Like, what am I doing wrong? So, once again, my good guy comes around. B, you doing it wrong. I'm just like, all right, let me take my time. So I took my time and studied exactly how he did it. So I just repetitiously started doing it, just going. Uh, I'm cutting, doing the smallest, just to kind of get the feel of what he was saying. So maybe about an hour goes by, he comes back around, he doesn't say nothing to me. So I'm like, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for him to say something. Come back around, still don't say nothing to me. So now we go on break, and he's like, I ain't say nothing to you, right? I'm like, no. He's like, cause you're doing exactly what I asked. He's like, I ain't gotta say nothing. So right then, in that moment, I knew it was for me, just because the simple fact that I really enjoyed not knowing something and then knowing it and falling in love with it. So I wanted to turn it into a business. It was one of the things he told me, B, you could turn this into a business yourself. This one of those startup costing business in the world. So why not? If I'm good at it, why not do it? So I ended up starting a painting business. Right now I'm in the process of getting an LLC for it. So I do make content. I did start in my own home. So if you check out B Divine Painting on YouTube, B Divine Painting on Instagram, and that's B with two E's, Divine Painting, just like it is on this channel. Yeah, so if you want to go ahead and check that out. I got a little bit of skill with me, just a little bit, but yeah, so I ended up falling in love with that, and now it was back to the job. Now I'm like, okay, now I need the job to be able to fund my business, and then I can get funding from that. And every stop that I went kept getting turned away. Mind you, I started applying to jobs last year. So fast forward to this year, Indeed is pretty cool. I like Indeed. Shout out to Indeed. While I was making my resume, okay, it gives you a list of skills, and it gives you a summary of yourself. So they got a brief description of who you are, and with the skills, when you're going to apply for a certain job, let's say I was trying to apply for some kind of computer job, and they had like Microsoft and PowerPoint and Excel, and these were all bullet points that I can just one click and add them to my resume. Just because the fact that I'm applying to this job, so this job wants to know, do I have these list of skills? Do I have these list of certifications? And once it came to certifications and the experience, I didn't have that. But what I did have is the months that I kept adding skills to my resume. All right, so fast forward to a couple weeks ago, I finally got a call back, and they went based off of my resume. So once they went based off of my resume, we had a first interview. First interview went wonderful. Second interview went even better. So then when I got to the actual training session, I realized this was the opportunity I've been praying for. So I was praying for a job to where I wanted to work from home. I didn't want to have to work in anyone else's establishment. I wanted to work from home. And God gave me a remote job. So I sell solar systems, and right now I'm in a 4-day training process. So 2 days already completed. I had 4 quizzes these 4 days, and I got 2 of the 4 completed. I aced my first 2 quizzes, so I know this is, something that God has given me. He's like, look, you've asked for this, I'm giving it to you. But it was the waiting game, okay? When you ask God for these things, they come with a lot of time. So that means you got to develop some patience, okay? Because sometimes you might be trying to jump the gun, and he'll show you that's not what I had in store for you. You have free will, so go ahead. But if you're going to wait on me, then allow me to do these things. And how I started to wait on him, I wanted discernment when it came to choosing the paths I wanted to be on. So if I'm going about my day, I just ask the Lord, allow me, to have that discernment, that distinction, to where if there's too much resistance, I know that's not my path. And that goes with the small things in my life as well, like me wanting to go out with my brothers or my friends. I let them know, look, that's up to my Lord. If he doesn't allow that, if it's too much resistance, I know that's. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going above and beyond when he already stopped that. He said, no. I can go around it. Like, I don't care that he said no, but it's going to be a lot more for me to get over there than it would for me to be exactly where he wanted me to be. So now that I got this job and I went through the training, now I cherish this job. I'm up early to make sure I'm at these training. I'm up to make sure I'm interacting, like they know my name, they know my face. And it's became everything I wanted to do. So now I'm able to work from home. I'm able to fund my business from this job. And I'm able to start exactly right here. I didn't have to go too far. I didn't have to, leave my family, regardless of how it may have looked. I thought I was losing my family. But the way the Lord has been, drawing this up, it looks like my prayers are working out. And I have faith in my prayers working out. And I believe you should have faith as well. And if you don't have a job, if you're struggling and you think everything is just on the down, you're sadly mistaken. Sadly mistaken. All you gotta do, get in prayer, get right with God, let him know what you want to be detailed, write these things down, and watch him open up them doors for you. And it takes time, so develop a little patience. Please develop a little patience during this time. But that's how I finally got a job now. The job does, there's no cap to this job. So the numbers I've been hearing in this job are numbers I haven't heard from any job I've ever worked in my life. So, and it's really not about the money to me, more the freedom I wanted to create, not only for myself, but for my family as well. And just like I can do it, you can do it too. Y'all have a wonderful day. This is my first episode, man. I really appreciate y'all. I'm gonna continue to give y'all, tips, business ideas. I'm great when it comes to knowing small things to do when it comes to people who struggle with addiction, who struggle with sexual immorality, who parenting tips when it comes to being a father. I'm a father of 5, so I'm really good in that field. They call me Uncle B. Mr. His glory is my glory. Y'all have a wonderful day and just be divine. Peace.